Hey folks, Segasonicfan here, and today is proof that sometimes you really got to work for your food. I'm taking apart this Breville, what model is this? BOV650XL/B. It's an 1800 watt toaster oven. Breville is a Australian company. I love this toaster oven. I use it all the time, and I was loading it up with shrimp and other seafood ready to cook my dinner, and it didn't turn on. Ugh. So, this is a particularly urgent repair, and I am super hungry. I want to make my dinner, so I'm challenging myself to see if I can fix this in time for dinner. So yeah, sometimes you really have to work for your food, but I am a little bit hangry, as they say. Hungry and angry from this breaking. And so I'm going to see what happens. I get absolutely nothing when I plug this in. I see no signs of anything breaking. And so what I'm going to first check out is the secondary power supply. And of course, any fuses or relays. I should probably check a fuse. I'm going to check the primary. So this is your primary over here. There's obviously a fuse for the primary to go to the heating elements up here. And then this transformer is to produce the secondary, which goes to your controller board. So I'm going to check the primary, look at any fuses. Looks like there's a thermal fuse over here. It hasn't been on all day, so I really doubt it's like a resettable thermal fuse issue. But let's see what I can find. And looks like over here is probably an NTC, if we can see that. This is probably a thermistor measuring the temperature. This is most likely a thermal fuse in here. And yeah, down here, these are the two heating elements. And we'll see what I can find. If there's any, I don't see any food damage or liquid spill, anything like that. I do have more parts for this though. So worst comes to worst, I might be able to swap some stuff out. I'll post back, we'll see where it takes me. All right, folks, I think I've figured this one out. Fortunately, it's not a super difficult one. There is a thermal fuse, which is covered in this heat shrink tubing and then wrapped around in here, which blows, of course, if the heat gets too hot inside the oven. And I do know how this broke now. I'm remembering this morning I cooked myself some hash browns. I put the darkness on 7, and I put 2 hash browns. I usually run it for a first cooking of 4 minutes, and then I come back and do it again. I didn't want to come back and do that again, so I set it to the 4 minutes, you know, for the dark hash browns, and then I turned the knob to 7 minutes 20 seconds is as long as it'll go for toast. And apparently that toasted this fuse. That's a very frustrating design, and I will say I love Breville stuff, but man, the electrical engineering in some of this stuff leaves something to be desired. This is another case of that. It really should not blow under regular operation like that. This is on a very, very well ventilated, totally insulated kitchen counter on tile, nowhere near any other heat source, and I don't even live in a warm environment. So that's really ridiculous that cooking toast for 7 minutes will do that. But mystery solved, and I've got another one I'm going to install, and I will report back, but I think I should be good and get some dinner. All right, so I'm back here with my Breville repair, and I have figured out what happened. This thermal fuse has blown, and fortunately I have another one that, sorry, this is the old one that blew. I have another one from a broken one of these that I had found on Craigslist a while back and used parts from. And so I'm just swapping these 2 fuses, but I'm going to go ahead and look at the part number here for anybody that, of course, isn't going to have spare parts on hand like that. And it says SE fuse, and then it says SF214E, which is probably the part number, JET 216 degrees Celsius. Aha! 216 degrees Celsius is the rating, and the part number is SF214E. So there you have it. This one is a different color, but similarly rated, I'm sure. Yep, same brand. And SF160, though. Oh, that's interesting. Is this rated lower? 250 volts, AC, 10 amps, 172 degrees Celsius. Huh, that's funny. So these are actually from the same, these are both from Breville toaster ovens, but it looks like at some point in the manufacturing, they raised the handling temperature. So I guess I can expect this new one to last longer than this old one. Maybe that's why they did that. Very interesting. Good thing I looked that up. I'll go ahead and zoom in here just so you can all see for yourself as well, assuming this will show up, which is quite the assumption, frankly. And I'm using this new tripod, which shakes a lot. I'm going to get a different one, so my apologies there. This tripod's so going to get returned. But it was cheap. What you going to do? Yeah, I guess you're not going to be able to make that out if I zoom in. Anyway, trust me, I read you the part number. Should be fine. So yeah, the moving on up to the higher temperature should certainly help me, because all I did was I was cooking some hash browns on the toast setting. I put the toast setting to 7 darkness, and with the hash browns, I think it defaults to with toast, it defaults to 4 minutes, because it just changes the time when you adjust the temperature. And I started it and then adjusted the temperature to 7.5 minutes, because I didn't want to have to come back and restart it after my hash browns had cooked, because they always take a little longer, because it's not regular toast, it's hash browns. And then, even though I'm in a very mild climate, it's only about 66 degrees Fahrenheit here, in a well-ventilated kitchen on a tile counter, totally not near anything warm at all, that seems to have destroyed it, which is really unfortunate. And you can tell that's probably why they went ahead and, upgraded the fuse or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I might have to cut this off, because this is actually a crimped wire nut, which, it's a good thing to do with. This is supposedly 1800 watts. So, and very hot and very dangerous. So, by the way, make sure you're unplugged when you're doing this. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to cut this. I'm going to use my wire strippers, and yeah, what I might just do is crimp the other lead of it. Well, we'll see. I should get the heat shrink tube backing, and no, let's not do that actually. Let's do it the way it's supposed to go. So the way it's supposed to go is our little guy is there, and then it kind of gets tucked in over here, and boy, I'm so hungry. This needs to be working so I can go eat my delicious dinner. Oh, all right. This thing really cooks like a boss, though, when it's working, I'll tell you. I like Breville stuff a lot. I think their mechanical engineering is really tops, but I think their electrical engineering is not. Leaves a lot to be desired. For starters, I mean, this board just flexes like crazy. There's no supports under here. It really should have a center metal support. Now, granted, if you're not doing repairs or anything, maybe it doesn't matter, but I don't know. Look at that. You should not have that on an AC board like this with really high current, really high power going to it. So there's things like that that are just problematic. Sorry, Breville, you're not perfect. I would love to work for Breville. They should hire me so then I can design really kick-ass electronics for their really kick-ass mechanical engineering. And they do good patent research and stuff like that too. Anyway, I'm rambling here. I'm going to finish getting this fuse all in here and re-crimping this. I'm just going to use a housing crimp nut that I got from my light dimmer that I installed. In fact, it's about the same size. It's not transparent like these nice transparent ones, but should do the trick just fine. Those are made for 1500 watts and up anyway. Hoping that's good. I might go ahead and crimp it like they did as well to be extra safe. So yeah, be eating some food soon, I think. All right, here I am back now with my Breville toaster oven repair. I go ahead and I replace the fuse and wired it all up. Let's see what happens. Not put all the screws back in yet because there's an ass load of them. But hey, what do you know? We've got a working toaster oven. It preheats, it heats up. It's wonderful. I can go eat my dinner now. Yay! Well, I can cook my dinner now, and then I can eat my dinner. Yay! Go ahead and open this up just to show you all what I did. Really quite simple. Of course, replacing that fuse, but you know, you want to do it right. So I've got the thermal fuse back in there with the insulator heat shrink tubing that it came with. And you'll see here, I just use a wire nut, you know, from a housing wire nut. Really stripped out that wire. You want to get a good, probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch exposed, and then really get those together and really get that crimp on good, because that's handling a lot of heat and a lot of power. Aside from that, when you put the connector back in here, you want to make sure to have your finger behind it when you plug it in. By the way, this is unplugged now. Because you don't want to flex this board. This board flexes really easily. I count that as a design flaw, but if you're careful, you can avoid future headaches. One thing FYI for future testing, if you have these nice, really sharp probes like this, you can actually poke them through the heat shrink tubing to get your measurements of the AC prior to the thermal if you need to, or after actually. So the after one down here, this white one is after it goes through the thermal fuse. So basically these 2 points are the fused contacts that go to your main board. Anyway, this is a successful one. I'll be careful making my toast from now on. I'm also going to go ahead and order an extra thermal fuse so I have one on hand. So I never, well, I guess if I do have this problem again, I still have to replace the fuse. But, you know, I want to have an extra one on hand because I love this toaster oven. I use it all the time. Toast is delicious. I'm going to make a bunch of seafood. Maybe I'll post a video of how it looks when it's done. That's all for this repair. Segasonic Fan signing out.